Welcome to Faith in 5, a weekly video devotional designed to discuss practical spiritual concepts in 5 minutes or less. I'm your host, Mark Vandella. We live with a generation, in a time, however you want to say it, that really craves authenticity. And authenticity has become kind of a buzzword. I mean, you see some newer movies or SNL sketches or whatever it is, and you see somebody with like the quintessential flannel shirt, a beanie cap, perfect tattoo, perfect beard, maybe if it's a guy. I guess it could be a girl, but putting on this show of like perfect authenticity, and they're like a cashier or something at a store, and you ask them for something simple, like a knife block, right? That was what came into my head because it was sitting in front of me as I wrote this. A knife block. Well, then the person who's behind the counter, who's quintessentially authentic, says, oh yeah, it's grass-fed, gluten-free, vegan-friendly, organic knife block, right? That's it's a joke, but that's what we see, that's what we think with authentic, and really all that is a different mask to protect ourselves from actual authenticity. We crave authenticity, and we've lived in a world for so long that it was about having this perfect image, especially when it came to faith. We couldn't actually talk about our real stuff. And if we did, as a pastor, we'd talk about real stuff in your life, but not in my life. And honestly, if we sat in the crowd, we didn't want to hear my real life stuff, because then that made somehow this flaw that you aren't a demigod of some sort. And the reality is we're sick of that. We want real, authentic relationships with the people sitting next to us, with the people sitting across from us, and with the people who teach us, who study, who live out their faith in other ways. We want to know what's really going on. Because when we build those guards, unfortunately what happens is we protect ourselves, we insulate ourselves so much that we either lose touch or we behave badly when the lights are off, and then we get found out. And that's not what the Bible asks of us. The Bible asks us to be authentic and live out our faith in a way that is authentic. See, authenticity, the definition of authenticity is genuine. It's really who we are when we don't have all of our guards up. See, authenticity has a purpose. It's not just saying, I'm broken, accept me as broken, and then I just continue to live as broken. No, authenticity says, it reveals I'm broken and I want help. I can admit that I'm broken, but I'm doing my best. I'm broken. What are we going to do about it? How do we live authentically? I think that Jesus paints a pretty clear picture in the Bible in Luke 9:23. He says to a crowd of people, he says, if any of you wants to be my follower, if any of you wants to know what it's like to come into my world and live in a real way, exposing me, showing other people me, being authentic, he says, you must give up your own way. You must take up your cross daily, and then you have to follow me. And we've been doing a series that I call Naked and Afraid. It's admitting that we have fears, and it's admitting that we need to be vulnerable in order to overcome some of that. And really, those are key components to being authentic. If you think about denying yourself is giving up that selfish desire or self-preservation desire to protect ourselves from other people, to not let them know that there's something that I don't like in here. There's something that I don't like behind here. I have a past, I have stuff going on. Vulnerability. Vulnerability allows us to deny ourselves and go past those fears, those things that we don't want, and give people the gift of that vulnerability. And then we have to pick up our cross. That's scary. That's a heavy feat. We have to deny ourselves regularly and take up our cross and step into difficulty and fear. We have to face our fear. If you think about what Jesus did when he picked up his cross, he was walking to his death. Face our fears. Being vulnerable and facing our fears are two key components to being authentic. And when we do that, we come closer to following Jesus, to being us, being authentically real, genuinely us. You have me, and I'm imperfect. I admit that I'm not that smart, honestly. I have things in my head that I don't want you to know. I'm not perfect. And I am broken, but I'm also doing my best and I'm asking for help. I want the people who are around me to call me out when I'm behaving poorly so that we could continue to move forward as broken people towards something better. Follow Jesus. And so as you engage your faith this week, as you step into what Jesus is asking of us, look for places that you can deny yourself and be vulnerable. Look for places that you can take up your cross and face the fears that you might have. And look for places where Jesus is asking you to go that might require more of you than you've given in the past, that might require you to say, I'm broken, but I am working on it. Let's do this together. This week, engage your faith in new ways so that other people can see a real picture of Jesus, an authentic picture of Jesus.